Alright you guys, so hopefully you've been watching our California videos, following on social media. I came up here to the LA area, Southern California, the OC, and now we are in Malibu today with James from Renick Performance. And this is your ATS-V.
Yes, it is.
So what are we talking here? You said it's around what, 500 something horsepower at the wheels?
Yeah, it's got intake, downpipes, X-pipe delete. It's an entry. This is our entry-level package.
Yeah.
You're looking at 525 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. Comes on just over 2,000 RPM. This is a lot of car. I mean, as you saw over the weekend, we raced a CTS-V version 3.
It was close.
And from a 40 roll upwards of the 3 digits, it was incredibly close.
Yeah, I was honestly, I was very surprised at how neck and neck that was in a straight line, like from a roll like 40 miles an hour.
This car is your circuit fighter. I mean, it's your circuit weapon. It's really good for technical stuff. It's really good for canyons like we're in right now.
Yeah.
The conditions are terrible.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, for those of you watching, there's mud everywhere, as you probably saw in the news. If you're from California, flooding all over California, and that means up here you get mudslides and rocks and debris all over the road.
This is nasty right here.
Honestly, it's really bad. So in terms of specific parts, so you said stock turbos still, right?
Yeah, stock turbo. It's a TU4L. It's a similar turbocharger to what's on the GTR.
Yeah.
The only difference is that they have an aluminum titanium fan wheel on the front of the turbocharger, and they have their mirror image, so
right.
They spin into each other. Very, very efficient. So yeah, stock turbochargers. We're a fairly new company. We're only about a year old. We make everything from the intakes to the downpipes. We have exhausts coming out that are my exhausts are more my taste. Very quiet exhausts for catless use, of course, for off-highway use. Our intakes get that real healthy turbocharged noise into the cabin and outside of the car. Charge pipes as well, supported by the tile blow-off valves, the QRJ. We have a Camaro line, being that's our closest relative to this car. This is a Camaro frame. They share the Alpha Plus with both cars,
which is getting like a lot of awesome press. Like,
oh yeah,
there's a lot of people who have a lot of good things to say about this platform already.
Our Camaro's over with Swift right now, getting the non-mag ride and mag ride spring is all set up, and then 32mm sway bars, which we have on this car. We have 32mm sway bars. They're dual adjustable. Yeah. And it's on our custom spec'd coilovers. We work with a company called CKS in Brea, California, and we build all of our coilovers to our fitting and our liking for both track use and street. Like, what do you think of the ride of this car?
Honestly, it's pretty good. It's not like, there's some bumps in these roads, especially with the mud and stuff. It's soaking it up really well. I mean, obviously I have not driven GM's new mag ride yet, so in terms of ride comfort, you know, like for street use, I can't really compare, but for a coilover, it's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. It feels planted as hell too. I mean,
most people don't spec our coilover system the way I spec this. I put the heavy spring rate Swift single rate springs in it.
Right,
and
right.
I mean, you and I were on the 405 today, which anybody in Southern California knows the 110 and the 405 are terrible.
Yeah.
And it took bumps pretty well. I mean, except for the 110 interchange.
Yes, yeah. Now the splitters will occasionally scrape, for sure. As you guys can see, this is slammed. But you were saying for track use, I mean, it goes even lower than this for track use.
Oh yeah, we're about 1.5 inches above what we usually run for our track setup.
Yeah. So
we raise it for street use for the media shoot this weekend, but usually, I mean, it's slammed and it's on the deck.
Mm-hmm.
We have Necks and Faras on this car. I like them. I think they're great for a heavier car because, as you know, cars are heavy now. We also have our DOT spec brake lines. This car gets kind of a heavy foot when it gets hot. The brake feel gets a little mushy.
Yeah.
Kind of the characteristic, but the brakes on this car are fantastic from the factory. The factory did such a good job speccing this.
They feel amazing.
The 1LE brake and this brake are the same. Closest relative, the bigger version is going to be our CTS-V brake. Mm-hmm. These are the biggest steel rotor brakes on the market right now. Same with the CTS-V. CTS-V 18.9 inches. We put our brake line on it to make it feel that much better. We use the Torque 7000, that's the fluid we support, or the Neo synthetic. Mm-hmm. And we run the Porterfield RS4 for street and rate best is 70-73s on track.
Nice, nice. So if people were wanting to get into the ATS-V and they wanted to hit the track, is this kind of what, this is a good kind of entry-level build? I mean, you've got the aero on it, it's already got the brakes, like you said. I mean, brake feel is really good. I like the steering feel.
Yeah, I would say absolutely. This is a great car to jump into track work. You really don't need all this stuff.
Right.
I mean, the warranty covers you for track work.
Right.
So get yourself some brake lines, get a new set of pads, which you really don't need a new set of pads unless you're a real advanced driver.
Yeah.
Fluid's always a good way to go. You can track this car stock. You don't need any of our parts to go out and run this car. And that's what makes it such a good canvas compared to, like out here we have hot weather. So you'll go out in a session and there'll be a plethora of cars that come in after 7 or 8 laps.
Right.
Because they have cooling issues or a diff light, something comes on. This car, out of the box, as much gas as you throw at it, it's gonna keep going.
Yeah.
If you want more response, if you really want to get that extra edge, absolutely throw some of our parts at it. We'll get you all taken care of and out on the track, and you're gonna be a track weapon. The cars that we usually are in a group with are the stock 991 GT3s, where it's so much fun.
Wow, yeah.
Apples to oranges, we're different, but we both have strong points in different areas, and we just battle the whole time.
Oh yeah, I can see that. And honestly, like,
What'd you think of that?
first off, this car's very fast. I mean, we're on a tight road. I'll say that, right? And in these poor weather conditions, we're barely getting into boost. But plenty of power. But here's the thing: the chassis feels like it's easy. Like it can handle it. You could probably toss another 100 horsepower at this thing, and I'm sure. I mean, brakes at some point, obviously, you'd have to upgrade if you're going like way above. But traction control feels like it could totally handle an extra power, like an extra 100 horsepower, even on top of this, right?
Oh, I agree with you completely. The car can handle more. I mean, you look at the older sibling, the CTS-V.
Yeah.
640 horse, 640 torque,
Yeah.
and it's almost like it's not enough in that car.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of room to grow.
All right, so you said you've been around for like a year, Renick Performance?
Yes.
Specifically?
Yeah. Our parts company, yes.
Right, okay, so that's like what all the, the suspension components and the coilovers and the aero and all that stuff, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how do you get into that? How do you start tuning like American cars? And like Cadillac, like we mentioned this before briefly, but Cadillac and GM have come, like in the last 10 years, they've gone from like here to like way up there.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you get into tuning these cars?
Well, it's kind of a longer story than short. My family is one of the oldest Cadillac dealers in the Western United States. We're running Cadillac Subaru. That's my parents' business. My grandfather started it in the 50s, and we were Packard before that during the war. And I can't remember a time period in my life that my family wasn't racing some type of race car. Most of the time it was Sports 2000, Camel GT, IMSA, and then we've always had Porsche race cars. I mean, Porsche makes the best out-of-the-box race car, I think, right now, and probably will be forever. Their commitment to motorsports is 100%. So as we're talking about the change in Cadillac, where they started doing more motorsports and refined performance driving vehicles, we started playing with the first version 2 car.
Yeah.
We had a customer that had a CTS-V wagon, and we ended up making that car into something really fun, and some things happened. We ended up buying the car back, and we started tracking it like crazy. Kind of one thing led to another, and I was approached by a friend of mine who was already in the business, and hey, you want to start making aftermarket parts? And before I knew it, we were getting ready for this car to come out, and we were watching how GM was changing Cadillac. I mean, we've got great people from different makers that came from BMW and Audi. You have the CEO of Cadillac, Johan Denichin, Matt Russell, who came from BMW. Just guys that really are performance focused and have history with those programs and know the value of a dedicated driving animal like this car. So that's kind of how it happened. It just, before we knew it, we were making parts and having fun with cars, and now I'm sitting in a car shooting video with you. Yeah,
and people want them. It seems like people want it. I mean, these cars are great out of the box, but people want to, like, take them from the street level that manufacturers like major manufacturers like Cadillac have to bring their cars down to, right? So the normal everyday consumer, you can drive it on a daily basis. But like this thing, I mean, it scrapes everywhere. This is if you're a driver, this is, aside from it not having a 6-speed, this is like the ultimate, it's a driver's car. If you want more of the rawness and like sticky tires stuck down to the road, that kind of thing.
We picked the automatic because we knew that's what most people would purchase.
Yeah.
And developing the parts around that, and in the future we're going to have a really nice trans tune for it that gets rid of some of the, let's call it emissions areas of the tuning, so it dumps gears to lower the emissions value.
Right.
That'll come out in the future, but this car in a 6-speed manual, it's pretty much perfect out of the box.
That's super exciting. Well, hey man, I appreciate you like letting me drive the car and showing me around California. This is the first time, you guys, that like I've actually been down to California for car specific stuff and like actually driven the canyon roads down here, which if you come to Southern California, you have to hit up these roads. They're just unbelievable. Anyways, thanks James. Where can people find all your stuff if they want to check you out?
Check us out on the internet, www.renickperformance.com. Find us on Instagram, that's at Renick_performance.com. And just like all my customers, they can always find me on ATS-V owners on Facebook.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
One of the things about our company, you can get us on the phone anytime, weekend, night, whatever. We have all of our personal cell phones listed, and you can get a hold of me directly and always help you installs, questions, whatever it might be.
That's great.
Treat our customers like family.
Awesome. Well, thanks, James.
Thank you.
Yeah, feel free to check out James Cars, and we will have the full video on this car up on the channel. And be sure to check out all the other cars that we shot while we were down here in California. James took me out to some of those shoots and helped out filming, so thanks for that too, James.
Anytime, bro.
A lot of fun. We shot a 6.2 liter Raptor, and Shane from Subarus, we shot his 500 horsepower STI, which was a lot of fun. Thanks guys for watching. Subscribe, hit us up on social media. We'll see you guys next time. If you haven't already, subscribe to my vlog channel to follow the rest of my adventures here in California, and check out our weekly podcast on iTunes or Shout Engine. See you guys soon.